Hey, good morning. It's 6:26 a.m. It is August 12th. It is Monday morning. Happy Monday, and I hope that you are all excited for today and looking forward to adding some sort of merriment into your Monday. So, like I said, I'm pretty proud of myself. I actually thought I was going to start this video later on in the morning, but I got up early this morning and I just wanted to get things done. Feel like, create some sort of sense of accomplishment, no matter how small it is, right? Because you have to keep going. Okay, so I want to talk about today's first quarter waxing moon. We are in the waxing phase. So this is a good time to start thinking about things that you want. Now, I also thought about the moon phase is also in Scorpio. So Scorpio has like a Scorpio moon energy. Kind of has a lot of like strong vibes. Okay, you can kind of get an idea of how moon phases work by looking at astrological signs. Okay, when the moon goes through its transition period, it settles in a particular sign, and now it is settled into the Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio. So you might think of some people that you might know who are Scorpios, right? Their attitudes, their behavior. This is the kind of energy that kind of vibrates in the atmosphere. Okay, and so we're dealing right now with Scorpio energy. And so, like for example, right now, if you were interested in perhaps maybe being getting a promotion or getting more recognized at work, right? These are the sort of energies that you could take advantage of during the Scorpio moon. Also, the Scorpio moon is also a good time if you're interested in looking for like perhaps maybe a partner or something like that. Scorpio moon is also good for that. I did do a video called The Divine Timetables just recently. So if you're interested in taking a look at that, you can find that on my channel. I will go ahead and link it in the description box. So I'm really looking forward to, getting my little chores done today. And I know that Monday is usually a drag for a lot of people. I am not working at the moment, but I know that a lot of people are. And I do see a lot of videos talking about unhappy, the workplaces and everything. And I know it can be a drag, especially after you had so much fun this weekend. I hope you guys had fun this weekend. And then you're coming back in and you're doing this Monday thing and you're around people and you're just like, oh man, I just kind of want to go back to my gardening, or I just want to go back to my, what do they call those things that I used to always want one in the backyard. You attach it to like a tree. It's a little thing that you kind of lay in or whatever. You were lounging, or maybe you were hanging out with your grandkids, or maybe you were shopping, whatever it was that you're doing. Now you're right back to, what you might look at is, the humdrum. So it's all about trying to change up the routine a little bit, to try to make it a little bit more interesting, to try to bring back a little bit more playful nature into your daily life. And that's why I'm making these particular videos. Now, I think most people understand that I'm somebody who does what they can to make things fun or try to make it, of course, an occultist, and I do see the importance of utilizing things like, plants, food, rocks, crystals, candles, whatever I can find. Mostly things that are, created in nature are the things that I feel I like to collect to, give me additional energy, put some certain vibrations in the home. And when it comes to things like going to work, this is something that you could have some sort of control over, right? I in the past where, I worked in places like when I worked at the news station, I would pretty much dress for work. And of course, I would follow certain days of the week. And then also, what kind of energy am I trying to bring to myself that day, right? Monday is a day that obviously aligns with the moon. We're dealing with a lot of things that relate to our intuition. It's a great day for ancestral contact, and it's also a day that we like to protect our energies. Like I said, we're coming off the weekend. We are now in the workplace, and so a lot of times I would wear black. Okay, but then also I'd want to take advantage of the moon energy. So today I was thinking about gardenias. Gardenias are a beautiful flower. And I actually think there was a song called The Girl with Their Gardenias in Her Hair. I don't know why I'm thinking about that, but I remember there was some sort of song or at least a lyric with that in there, right? And I can see why, because gardenias are a flower that vibrate peace, spirituality, and of course, love of all kinds, right? So, I was thinking, okay, if I had to go to work today, what kind of energy would I want to bring this Monday? Like to me, Mondays, I'm always going to associate Mondays with, spirituality. I do. Why? Because it's a day of a lot of psychic ability, has a lot to do with ancestors. Also, of course, the moon, right? So to me, that kind of falls under the line of spirituality. And then also, when I look at the color of the gardenias, the white, the purity of it, I, of course, naturally associate it with peace. This is one of the reasons why when I talk about the food associations, plant associations, things that grow from nature, many cultures identify the same thing as exactly the same thing. Okay, so these are kind of like universal explanations for, or what do you call it, interpretations for uses of flowers. Okay, so now gardenia is not the only type flower that you can use on Monday. There are things like roses that pretty much have the same kind of vibration as like a gardenia, right? But I'm really fond of the gardenia and the energy that it vibrates. Okay, and so I want to talk a little bit more about, how we could use gardenias or whatever flower that you might be interested in, and how do you incorporate it into like your Monday vibe or any vibe for that matter, right? So let's just say, for example, today's Monday and I was going to work. Okay. I shudder at the thought. But anyway, I understand, like, I'm thinking of things like that relate to the moon. Now, when it comes to certain things like flowers, plants, trees, whatever, they have and everything really, okay, it generally has some sort of ruling planet that governs it. Okay, sometimes it might be Saturn, sometimes it might be, another type, what do you call it, celestial body or whatever. In this case, I was thinking today's Monday. Obviously, I'm thinking about the moon, right? So gardenia is a plant that has the ruling planet is the moon. Okay, so and it also is white. It does have this association. It just looks moonish. It to me, it's just like the ideal Monday flower. So also the element, everything has an element association when it comes to the occult. We have the earth, air, fire, water. Some people recognize the four elements, and some people recognize the fifth element, which is ether or spirit, right? And I go more into that as we go into a lot of my instructional videos. For now, I'm just talking about how we can use the gardenia flower, or any flower for that matter, but I'm focusing on the gardenia because it's my flower of choice on a Monday, right? Okay, so there's certain ways that I can do this, or you can do this, and incorporate gardenia energy. Now you can do this by using like things like body washes. Now, unfortunately, most body washes are not going to have real extracts of gardenia. If you can find one, like I know a lot of the more expensive type brands have, like, they might say, well, natural ingredients, and you look on the thing and it really does list like maybe a gardenia extract or something, okay? But a lot of them have scents that are created to smell like gardenias, okay? How they do that, I do not know, but whatever. So sometimes you have to enchant it to infuse that energy. And I do talk about, getting that from the sunlight and then transferring that, and empowering the body wash, okay, to have the same sort of vibration that like the regular flower would have. Okay, so you could use body wash, shampoos, and conditioners. The same thing would apply, like the body wash. Okay, having gardenia in your hair. Okay, so like if you're focusing on spirituality, if you're focusing on peace, washing your hair with the shampoos and the conditioners, body washes, whatever. It's just added energy, right? Also, you can take advantage of the image of the flower. Now, I'm a big clothes freak, and I do not have any clothes with gardenia prints on it. I do have things like daisies and stuff, and I love daisies. I'm a big daisy person. But, if you wanted to, somehow represent the gardenia flower, things like clothing prints and hair accessories. Now, I just recently did a video. It's called "Wear the Flare in Your Hair." I have not uploaded it on YouTube yet. Okay, I'm just kind of releasing videos here and there as I go along. I'm trying to get it's very difficult to grow my channel because, I was dealing with people who were invading my channel. And there's been a lot of attempts to squash me out, minimize my work online because they want me to focus on the 9 to 5 or whatever. It's always a controlled situation, okay? And also the fact that they wanted to squash me out because they act as if, they act as if, people who talk about the occult, like I'm the only person who talks about the occult, which is not true, okay? But anyway, I'm trying to grow my channel, and I'm doing the best I can, right? Anyway, I'm getting off the subject. So anyway, another way to utilize gardenia energy is like through essential oils. Okay, you might want to wear some essential oils with gardenia on it, like just to dab a little bit, maybe behind your ear, or you can rub a little bit of it and then just kind of like work it through your hair. But I would suggest testing it on your skin to see it, sensitivity. Sometimes essential oil, if you have very dry hair and you put it on your hair, even no matter how little, it can make your hair very brittle. So be very careful with that. Also, when I'm thinking about utilizing the flower as far as in the context of work, because this is the reason why I'm making these videos, okay? I don't know if you might have an office space. Some companies are really cool. I know when I worked for the news station, I had a boss that would burn candles in the office, okay? And of course, she was burning them because she liked, just the scented candles. I don't believe she was a practitioner of any kind, okay? But I do know that, I'm a practitioner, meaning I see the value in certain scents, certain, whatever. So, if you can, you can choose like maybe a scented scented candle of gardenia or whatever flower you choose. I know that, when I worked at the farmer's place, I would burn incense if I could, and then I'd have people coming in and complaining about it, and then I wouldn't do it, okay? But it depends on your employer, depends on whatever, okay? But if you're somebody who is dealing with Mondays and you're not working and you're at your house and you can, in the privacy of your own home, you have your space, you can like go ahead and use things like incense or like one of those oil burners. Essential oils can be poured into those little potpourri type burners, and you can use that to meditate on. Also, body sprays, perfumes can also be used. Some people think that body sprays and perfumes are meant only for male attraction. Like, for example, I'm going to spritz up my body because I'm trying to perfume, yes, a lot of perfumes or love potions, okay? That's one of the reasons why, or how perfumes and stuff like that were created. They were always, everything that relates to the occult, okay, when you really look down into the history of everything. But when it comes to like things like perfumes and stuff like that, I don't really buy perfumes. Like the last time I bought perfumes is when I was really young, okay? I don't really buy perfumes, but some people do. Now, I do buy what they call those body sprays, because I do like taking advantage of those energies, and that's why I buy them, okay? And some people, there's body sprays and flowers and scents for things that can create energy around you, such as like, things for prosperity or whatever. Gardenia is just another one. So if you find like a body spray that has like gardenia on it, you could use that or whatever. They have rose or whatever flower you're into. But I'm into the gardenia thing right now. So I'm just kind of giving you guys ideas on how I deal with Monday, how I deal with life in general, and how I, incorporate certain things into my life to make things a little bit more special. Okay? And you know what? To me, it keeps me going. It keeps me excited. It keeps me caring. It keeps me alive. You know what I mean? It's like taking the mundane and making things better. You know what I mean? We don't have much, I don't think there's much to live for on this planet. Not really. You know what I mean? So you have to make a big deal out of everything. And so, you know what? This is something that's helped me out. I do want to talk a little bit more about hair accessories, but, I think I'm going to go ahead and say that for another day. I'm hoping to, I don't know what I want to do, because when it comes to, like, I got off the subject, okay, earlier, when I was talking about the issue of YouTube and stuff like that. It's the fact that, I was disappointed that I could not monetize my channel, okay? And I was disappointed because, I enjoy sharing content and I enjoy having feedback, and I'm getting tired of, like, the shadow banning And it's important that I do have some sort of online presence. It's something that I really do deserve. So I need to get some sort of insight on how I can correct the situation. I will say that, my online presence is obviously, if it's wired in the system, that I'm going to have to work. Unfortunately, that is the way it is, but I do want to have communication. I'm tired of being, boxed in. So more of that ranting type stuff in another video, but I just wanted to kind of like piggyback from what I was talking about before because I got off the subject. Let's go back to another slide. I think it's important to keep the day spontaneous and fun as much as I possibly can. Okay, I know Mondays can't be too much of a big whoop-de-doo. Okay, I mean, because you have like an hour for lunch. And by the way, have you thought about what you're going to have for lunch today? Because when you think about it, it's like, I try to keep my day exciting by the hour. I really do. I try to, right? So I usually know like how I'm going to start my day off. I know first thing first, I'm going to get some coffee. And then I'm going to sit down, okay? And usually, sitting around, my coffee is fine. And then, of course, we're thinking about lunchtime. I enjoy that time by myself, okay? Now, sometimes, people want to go out and have lunch together. Or maybe you might know somebody that you just met at work. Maybe there's a girl that you want to talk to. And I'm not talking about flirting or romance or anything. You ever, like, see somebody that's they seem interesting to you, so you just want to talk to them a little bit more? You might want to ask them out for lunch, okay? Maybe that's something that might make your Monday a little bit different. Change it up a little bit. Now, because I'm the kind of person, I do enjoy being by myself because most of the time I had to deal with lunch, I was dealing with people that were perving me. Lunch was always miserable. I always hated lunchtime, and I dreaded having to deal with it. I literally did, right? So, of course, my lunch hours were only good when I could spend them by myself, okay? And there's ways that I used to make them fun. Now, I'm a person who packs my lunch. I prefer packing lunch, okay? Every once in a while, I will step off and go to like an Indian buffet, which unfortunately, the one that I like, they closed here in Bakersfield, which really bummed me out, okay? But most of the time, I pack my lunch. And it's nice if you can get off of, like, step out of the company and go off to maybe like a park, a nicer park. Now, I know right now we have a lot of, the park scenery is not as nice as we'd like it to be because, unfortunately, and, God bless these people. I know there's a lot of homeless people. Okay, so I'm trying to go to an environment where I can have like a positive type vibe as much as I possibly can, because the park is supposed to be, place of tranquility, really, when you think about it. So if you can find a little section in the park to have a picnic, on your lunch break, I used to enjoy doing that, especially when I worked at Edwards Air Force Base. I really enjoyed doing that. There was a little park, but it was kind of like deserted, but still I was by myself. Anyway, if there's a restaurant that you haven't been to yet, you might want to start thinking about, I can go there today on my lunch break. You know what I mean? If you have time, okay? Sometimes if you might only have an hour to do that. And that's one thing I don't like about eating at restaurants. Because in 1 hour, it's a lot of rushing, right? And sometimes the restaurant's not going to serve you your food in the timely manner that you want it to. And then that adds pressure, okay? So the whole idea to me about, like, everything I do, I want to make sure I don't add any pressure to it. So this is what I enjoy packing my lunch. I like being by myself. I like having, whatever. But when it comes to like, having control over my day, I try to add as much like, spontaneous things, throw in things that, I didn't plan for. Because I need my life has to be somewhat exciting. As much as I can possibly make it, So I try not to get stuck in the humdrum doing the same thing all the time, right? What else I thought? Eat outside. Oh yeah, I do enjoy eating outside. And right now this is like, summertime. Sometimes it gets a little too hot to even eat outside, but it's just about shaking up your routine. You know what I mean? Especially like on a Monday, because Monday is a dreaded day for a lot of people. A lot of people just don't like dealing with it. So since you don't like dealing with it, what can you change? Do what you can, as much as you can, to change it, if you can, right? So it gives you a little bit more control over things. And, start thinking about what you want to have for lunch. Start thinking about what you're going to do when you get home. You know what I mean? This is how I literally survive You know, taking things at one step at a time. Looking forward to like maybe 2 o'clock hour. Yeah, you know, like 2 o'clock hour. I usually have like a little snack or something. You know, and I look forward to that little snack. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I seriously do. You know, and sometimes things that, you know, the inner child things comes to play. You know, when it comes to lunchtime, like I mentioned, this lady I used to, who was a substitute teacher for our class in high school. She brought like an Alvin and the Chipmunks, what do you call it? An Alvin and the Chipmunks lunchbox, right? And I thought, yeah, that's kind of cool, right? Now, and depending on your comfort level, not everybody likes to, you know, be seen with stuff like that. I'm going to be right up front. I really don't care. Okay, I've been through so much trauma. If that Hello Kitty lunchbox is going to make me feel a little bit better, I guess that's just the way it is. Okay, but anyway, sometimes it's kind of fun, you know, doing silly little things like this to try to get yourself into a different shape of mode. You know, like sometimes it's fun for me to just sit there and look at cute little pink things and just kind of pretend and wish that I was as innocent as a child. You know what I mean? In my little off time. It's not that I'm detaching from reality. It's not that I'm sitting here shucking my responsibilities. It's not in any way me saying that I'm irresponsible and I'm not going to take care of things that need to be taken care of. It's just the fact that I need to nurture myself. That's it. Okay? I need to coddle myself because I've never been coddled. And you know what? Sometimes you can find that in certain things, you know, like Hello Kitty lunch boxes or doing something for yourself that's going to make yourself happy. And if you are one of those people who are self-conscious about your little lunchbox, because I'm a loner, okay? So, I mean, I'm usually going to take my lunchbox somewhere off and eat to myself anyway, okay? Because I really don't like being around other people. Lunches to me, together, that whole thing is something I seriously dread, okay? From dealing with, you know, time after time. And I'm not the only person. I've heard a lot of people talking about this also online, how much they really don't like lunch breaks. Why? Because if they're in situations where it's a social thing, some people, this is a work environment, okay? And not everybody's happy about being around other people. Okay, some people feel like there's a lot of tension in the workplace and having everybody sit there and try to act like everybody's happy. It's not, it's a lot of pressure on people. Okay, sometimes it's required, like, you know, sometimes you have a meeting and you have to eat lunch or whatever. Okay, let's keep the conversation focused, you know, but I dreaded every single lunch break or every single lunch that was supposed to be fun with these people. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of other people relate too. So if you have the ability to step off and have your lunch by yourself, you know, please, by all means, do so. And I hope you do so in an environment that you really enjoy, because it does matter. Okay, so last week, the synchronistic symbol was a magical key. Now, this is not the same key picture that I showed last week. Last week, it had a different top of the key. And that's what I was saying last week when I said, okay, this is a symbol that you're going to keep your eye on. Okay. I don't know how many of you saw it, because I think that what happens on my channel is that we have the main perk that would download possibly my videos and then distribute them among this particular group, okay? Or, you know, of course, I've always suspected YouTube of skewing the numbers somehow, okay? Somehow there's, you know, weird stuff that goes on. And of course, you know, it's unfair to me to not have access to full services online, so eventually I'm going to have to move my channel. But right now, I'm here on YouTube, okay? And so, you know, it's very difficult for me to know and gauge who's actually saying it, but I know a lot of people know me, so I'm assuming there's a lot of people, okay? And I do know that, yeah, so anyway, well, I'm going to be doing a video later on, you know, Christianity and their forceful tactics of trying to harm other people. But for now, I'm talking about the key, the magical key, okay? Now, keys usually represent, of course, unlocking things. And there was a time where magical keys, I mean, just keys in general, looked like this. Okay, this is how keys used to look, okay? But now when you talk about things that are like magical keys, when you see them like depicted, they usually depict them as the old-fashioned looking key, right? So how this works is like when you have, when I'm showing these images, you're going to look at it, and you're going to make a wish on that particular thing. And if you stumble upon that particular image, that's a confirmation that you're on the right track. Now, these are just little signs from heaven, little reminders, little indicators that everything is going smooth in your life, and they're blessings to actually see. Okay, now also, images can come to you in any way. Okay, like, like the magical key. I showed the magical key last week and asked you guys to keep your eyes peeled for it. Now, it could be like you walk into the store and you notice on the side they're selling pictures of a magical key. You might see a girl who's walking up to you in a t-shirt with a magical key. You might go into a junk drawer in your house and stumble upon an old envelope and open it up, and out pops a magical key image. There's ways that the magical key will come to you. You know what I mean? I know that there's been times where I've said, okay, well, my symbol of confirmation is going to be something like, okay, like for example, a blue bunny, right? A blue bunny. If I see a blue bunny, that means that I'm on the right track. Okay, so maybe a few days go by, I'm not seeing it, but then I go out for a walk, and then I notice, what do you call it? One of those trucks, those delivery trucks, for like one of those companies, like an ice cream truck, and you see on the side, and the company's name is Blue Bunny. You see stuff like that, even though it's not an image of the blue bunny. It does have a small image of the blue bunny, but it's written. Okay, you can also see things like this in written form. Okay, it's coming to you. The sign's coming to you in written form. I do remember one time I was asking for a confirmation of another image, and I saw a girl at the pool who came down. She came down to the pool, and I was noticing what she was wearing. She was wearing a pair of shorts, right? And she had the print all over her shorts. Okay, so if you see the magical item in like a large quantity of numbers, you've really hit the jackpot. Like, if you saw this magical key and then you saw something like a bunch of other keys, like, maybe somebody was wearing a shirt with images of magical keys and they were like a bunch of them all over the place, then that's like, wow, So get excited, know that your blessing's like really coming close, your wish or whatever. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and pull the new image that you can keep your eyes peeled for this week. All right. Maybe next week I will appear in my video. And I'm just going to go ahead and dig into my little bag here. If I appear in the video, you can see me actually pulling this item, but unfortunately I'm not in front of the camera this time. We'll see next week maybe. All right. I'm shaking up this bag really good. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's so funny because I just talked about a blue bunny. Okay, this image that you're going to be keeping your eyes peeled for, is going to be a pink bunny. Now, this pink bunny can be found in different ways. Like I said, just like the magical key. Your kid might walk up to you and be holding a stuffed animal, and that stuffed animal could be a pink bunny. Okay, you could go to the mall and see somebody wearing a shirt of a pink bunny. And you know what? A pink bunny can also come to you in the form of the Energizer Bunny. Just keep your eyes open. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put this image of the pink bunny and visualize, make your wish. And I hope that you have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.